Hare Krishna, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining. We'll get started with singing the Chaurashtakam. Today, Anirudh will sing the Chaurashtakam and the translation. So Anirudh, please get started. I'll share my screen.
Raje prasiddham navanitachoram Gopangananam chadukulachoram Anika janma chitapapachoram Shoragraganyam purusham namami Shri Radhikaya Hridayasya choram Navam Buddha Shamalakanti Choram Padashritanam Ch Samasta Choram Choragraganyam Purusham Namami Akinchani Kritya Padashritam Ya Karoti Bhikshum Patigena Hinam Kenapyaho Bhishana Choraedrik Tishtashito Vana Jagatrayepi Yadiyanamapi Bharatiya Shesham Giri Prasharanapi Paparasin Ascharya Rupo Nanu Choraedrik Krishtashito Vanamaya Kadapi Dhanam Chamanam Tatendriyani Pranam Charitva Mama Sarvameva Palaya Sekutra Ditodya Chora Tam Bhakti Damnasi Maya Niruddha Jinnatsi Goram Yamapasa Bandham Vinnatsi Bhimam Bhavapasa Bandham Jinnatsi Sarvasi Samasta Bandham Naivatmano Bhakta Kritam Bandham Manmanase Tamasarasi Gore Karagahe Dukkamaye Nibadha Labasvahe Chor Hare Chiraya Swachorya Dosochitam Evadandam Karagrahe Vasa Sada Hriday Madhye Mad Bhakti Pasha Dridabandhana Nishchalasan Tvam Krishna He Pralaya Koti Satantarepi Sarvasva Chaura Hridayanna Himochayami. Translation: I offer my respectful obeisances to that foremost of thieves, who is famous in Braja as the butter thief, and he who steals the gopis' clothes, and who, for those who take shelter of him, steals the sins which have accrued over many lifetimes. I offer my respectful obeisances to the foremost of thieves, who steals Srimati Radhika's heart, who steals the dark luster of a fresh rain cloud, who steals all the sins and sufferings of those who take shelter of his feet. He turns his surrendered devotees into paupers and wandering homeless beggar. Alas, such a fearsome thief has never been seen or heard of in all the three worlds. Mere utterance of his name purges one of a mountain of sins. Such an astonishingly wonderful thief I have never seen or heard of anywhere. O thief, having stolen my wealth, my honor, my senses, my life, and my everything, where can you run to? I have caught you with the rope of my devotion. You cut the terrible noose of Yamaraja, you sever the dreadful noose of material existence, and you slash everyone's material bondage, but you are unable to cut the knot fastened by your own loving devotees. O stealer of my everything, O thief, Today I have imprisoned you in the miserable prison house of my heart, which is very fearful due to the terrible darkness of my ignorance. And there for a very long time you will remain, receiving appropriate punishment for your crimes of thievery. O Krishna, thief of my everything, the noose of my devotion remaining forever tight, you will continue to reside in the prison house of my heart, because I will not release you for millions of eons.
Thank you very much, Anirudh, for a nice singing and translation. We'll now move on to reading chapter 15, Sanskrit verses, which I will be doing. The person who was supposed to do today unexpectedly could not come, so I'm going to take it up. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, the Yoga of the Supreme Person, text 1. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Urdhvamulam adhashakam ashvattam prahuravyayam chandamsi yasya parnani yastam veda saveda ved adhaschordvam prasritastasya shaka guna pravritta vishaya pravala adhascha mulani anusantatani कर्मानुबन्धीनि मनुष्यलोके न रूपमस्येह ततोपलभ्यते नान्तो न चादिर्न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा अश्वत्थमेनं सुविरूढमूलम् असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन चित्वा तथा पदं तत्परिमार्गितव्यं यस्मिन् गता नानिवर्तन्ति भूयः तमेव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यथा प्रवृत्ति प्रसृता पुराणी निर्माणमोहाजितसङ्गदोषा अध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामाः द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ता सुखदुःखसंज्ञैर्गच्छन्त्यमूढा पदमव्ययं तत् न तद्भासयते सूर्यो न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धामा परमं मम ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूता सनातनः मनःशस्तानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति शरीरं यदवाप्नोति यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात् श्रोत्रं चक्षुस्पर्शनं च रसनं घ्राणमेव च अधिष्ठाय मनश्चायं विषयानुपसेवते उत्क्रामन्तं स्थितं वापि भुञ्जानं वा गुणान्वितं विमूढानानुपश्यन्ति पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुषः यतन्तो योगिनश्चैनं पश्यन्त्यात्मन्यवस्थितं यतन्त्योऽपि कृतात्मानो नैनं पश्यन्त्यचेतसः यदादित्यगतं तेजो जगद्भासयतेऽखिलं यच्चन्द्रमसि यच्चाग्नौ तत्तेजो विद्धि मामकं गामाविश्य च भूतानि धारयाम्यहमोजसा पुष्णामि चौषधीः सर्वा सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मकः अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रितः प्राणापानसमायुक्तः पचाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधं सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो मत्तः स्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो वेदान्तकृद्वेदविदेव चाहं द्वाविमौ पुरुषौ लोके क्षरश्चाक्षर एव च क्षरः सर्वाणि भूतानि कूटस्थोऽक्षर उच्यते उत्तमः पुरुषस्त्वन्यः परमात्मेत्युदाहृतः यो लोकत्रयमाविश्य बिभात्य व्यय ईश्वरः यस्माक्षरम् अतीतोऽहम् अक्षरादपि चोत्तमः अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे च प्रतितः पुरुषोत्तमः यो माम् एवमसम्मूढो जानाति पुरुषोत्तमं स सर्वविद् भजति मां सर्वभावेन भारत इति गुह्यतमं शास्त्रम् इदमुक्तं मया नघा एतद्बुद्ध्वा बुद्धिमान् स्यात् कृतकृत्यश्च भारत. Thus ends the chanting of chapter 15, the Yoga of the Supreme Person of Bhagavad Gita. Now we will read the translations, and my Prabhu will read the translations in English.
Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, the Yoga of the Supreme Person. Text 1, translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "It is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches downward, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas. The branches of this tree extend downwards and upward, nourished by the three modes of material nature. The twigs are the objects of the senses. This tree also has roots going down, and these are bound to the fruitful actions of human society. The real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins, or where its foundation is. But with determination, one must cut down this strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. Therefore, one must seek that place from which, having gone, one never returns, and there surrender to that Supreme Person Godhead from whom everything began, from whom everything has extended since time immemorial. Those who are free from false prestige, illusion, and false association, who understand the eternal, who are done with material lust, who are freed from the dualities of happiness and distress, and who, unbewildered, know how to surrender unto the Supreme Person, attain to that eternal kingdom. That supreme abode of mine is not illuminated by the sun or moon, nor by fire or electricity. Those who reach it never return to this material world. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind. The living entity in the material world carries his different conceptions of life from one body to another as it carries aromas. Thus, he takes one kind of body and again quits it to take another body. The living entity, thus taking another gross body, obtains a certain type of ear, eye, tongue, nose, and senses of touch, which are grouped about the mind. He thus enjoys a particular set of sense objects. The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of the modes of nature. But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this. The endeavoring transcendentalists who are situated in self-realization can see all this clearly. But those whose minds are not developed and who are not situated in self-realization cannot see what is taking place, though they may try. The splendor of the sun, which dissipates the darkness of this whole world, comes from me, and the splendor of the moon and the splendor of fire are also from me. I enter into each planet, and by my energy, they stay in orbit. I become the moon and thereby supply the juice of life to all vegetables. I am the fire of digestion in the bodies of all living entities. I join with the air of life, outgoing and incoming, to digest the four kinds of foodstuff. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of the Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. There are two classes of beings, the fallible and the infallible. In the material world, every living entity is fallible, and in the spiritual world, every entity is infallible. Besides these two, there is a greatest living personality, the Supreme Soul, the imperishable Lord Himself, who has entered the three worlds and is maintaining them. Because I am transcendental, beyond both fallible and infallible, and because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as that Supreme Person. Whoever knows me as the Supreme Person of Godhead without doubting is the knower of everything. He therefore engages himself in full devotional service to me, O son of Bharata. This is the most confidential part of the Vedic scriptures, O sinless one, and it is disclosed now by me. Moreover, whoever understands this will be will become wise, and his endeavors will know perfection. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu, for reading the translations. So I think if anyone want to sing a bhajan, please feel free to sing. Or you want to say something, we can talk. Otherwise, I think we can close the class for today. Christian, you want to do something, beta? No? That's fine. Maybe. Go ahead.
I was going to choose to read a day.
Okay.
Like,
You can choose one day and read English translation or whatever, Sanskrit. Okay. Thanks everyone for joining. We'll see you all again, same place, same time. Until then, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram.
Hare Hare. Aparna, Rupesh Prabhu, Vedang, Hemang, you also should sign up if you all can. We have some more slots in the spreadsheet. So please sign up for English translation reading or Sanskrit verses or for singing bhajan, any of those. All right.
Yeah, we'll do, Mataji. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.